Hey guys, I am back. This is my live Thanksgiving dinner cooking session part 2. So on my part 1 live session, I showed you guys all the prep work that I've done. So now almost everything is ready here. So I'm going to make my butternut squash soup, pumpkin panna cotta, asparagus, roasted asparagus is ready, so I have to finish that up. And then I also roasted a butternut squash, so that's ready in the oven. I'm gonna take that out. Mashed potatoes have cooked well. I pressure cooked in the Instant Pot. That's ready. So now I just have to mash the potatoes and add some ingredients to that: cream and butter and cheese. So it's a creamy, perfect, very delicious mashed potatoes. And then cranberry peach chutney, that's ready as well. So I'm going to show it to you guys what's been going on in my kitchen right now. It's a very busy kitchen. It's all messed up right now, but hey, something delicious is happening. So that's good. All right, guys. So here is the roasted butternut squash. This is for my butternut squash soup. So I just seasoned the half of the butternut squash with ground pepper and salt and roasted for 35 minutes. It's soft right now. That's all I need. I don't want this to be brown, so this is perfect. So I'll peel off the skin now. After roasting the butternut squash, it's easy to peel off the skin. It has a very tough skin. So now after I peel it, I'm going to add it to my soup along with other ingredients. And then my asparagus, it's roasted well. I'm going to take that out. So before I take the asparagus out of the oven, I have to add a few things to my roasted asparagus. So I'm going to show it to you guys. So I'm going to, all right, so I hope you guys can see me. So all right guys, for the roasted asparagus, I'm going to add some lemon into a bowl. I'm adding some lemon zest from fresh lemon, half of the lemon I'll be using. So grating the lemon zest. So lemon zest has a lot of flavor. So I'm going to grate. There's a sticker here. Take that off. So that should be good. And then so to this I'm adding half cup Parmesan cheese. So this one I need to, how do I remove this one? So I need a scissor. So half cup of this I'm going to add. So this is Parmesan cheese and some toasted almonds. Add that, and ground pepper. A little bit of ground pepper I have to add. And some lemon juice. Half tablespoon lemon juice and 1 tablespoon olive oil. Okay, so that's it. So mix everything up. So this, I'm going to add this to the roasted asparagus. So I'm going to take the asparagus out of the oven. So wear a blouse. So here is the perfectly roasted asparagus. So I roasted the asparagus at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 40 minutes. So it's perfectly roasted right now. So on top of this, as soon as it comes out of the oven, we need to add the cheese, lemon zest, and lemon juice. So that's when the cheese will melt. So it's very important we add the Parmesan cheese. Right away, we take the roasted asparagus out of the oven. So spread it well. So I have a tongue here. So spread it well and let the cheese melt a bit. So that's it. So here's our roasted asparagus. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this with the aluminum foil. So it will stay hot. So this is ready. I'm going to keep this aside. When it's time for our Thanksgiving dinner, I will serve this into a platter. So I'm going to keep this aside. This is perfect. So next I'm going to take the butternut squash out of the oven. So here is the perfectly roasted butternut squash. So I have seasoned the butternut squash with some paprika, rosemary, ground cumin, ground pepper, salt, and olive oil. I can smell the nice aroma of rosemary right now, and this is perfectly roasted, guys. So at 400 degrees Fahrenheit I roasted for 40 minutes. Perfect. And so this is done too. So I'm going to cover this up with an aluminum foil so that it will stay warm. So perfect. So here's my aluminum foil. Cover this up. It's very hot, so be careful. So I'm going to keep this aside. All right. So next I'm going to make the pumpkin panna cotta. All right. And before that, yes, I forgot about the big bird here. So here's our whole turkey. So I have marinated the turkey with homemade marinade. So I've marinated this for 1.5 hours. So this is perfect right now. So for the homemade marinade, I have added ginger, garlic, some herbs like cilantro, fresh mint leaves, green chilies for heat, ground black pepper, some whole cardamom, lemon juice. Yeah, so that was my ginger and garlic as well. So that was my home marinade. I pureed it, made into a paste, and then I massaged the bird with that aromatic homemade marinade, and I allowed this to marinate for 1.5 hours. If you can allow it to marinate for longer, the better. So the longer we marinate, the better. So this is perfect. So next I'm going to roast this. I'm going to keep this in the oven. I've also added some melted butter over it. So my oven is now preheated to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. I only need 375. So I'm going to lower to 375 and start. So it's already preheated. I'm going to keep this, and I will be roasting this for 2.5 hours. So this is going into my oven at the lower rack. It is heavy. All right, I forgot one thing. So before that, I have to also add some vegetables. So I'm not going to add the vegetables into the cavity of the turkey. I'm just going to add this on the tray. So this is roughly chopped onion, celery, and carrots. Right. We also need some herbs. So I love rosemary, so I'm going to add some rosemary over the turkey. So this will give nice flavor and aroma. As it roasts, you will get perfect. Okay. So any kind of herbs you can add. If you like thyme, you can add that oregano, whatever herbs that you have, you can add this. So this is good. So next I'm going to keep this in the oven and let it roast for 2.5 hours. I will be checking in between, and then once it's turns brown, I'll take that out of the oven. Okay, and I'm going to set the timer here. Alright, so we have placed the turkey, the big bird, in the oven. So let it get roasted. It's going to take 2.5 hours. Alright, so next, for making pumpkin panna cotta, I've already cooked the pumpkin in water, so it has turned soft. Next, I have to puree the pumpkin in a blender. So let me take the pumpkin out of the pan. So I have to puree the pumpkin. It is very hot right now, so let me use this one. So this is perfectly cooked, so I'm going to add this to the blender. So I need to puree this into a smooth paste for my pumpkin panna cotta. So I have not added any seasoning to the pumpkin. So just cook the pumpkin in a saucepan. I added 1/2 cup water and cooked it for like 30 minutes. Perfectly cooked. Next I'm going to puree this. So here is the pureed pumpkin. So it has pureed well. So I've added cooked pumpkin and some water and pureed it into a smooth paste. So this is good. So I'll be using this for making my pumpkin panna cotta. And for the panna cotta, to thicken the panna cotta, I'll be using agar-agar. So here is if you have gelatin, you can use that. I always use agar-agar. So this is a dried seaweed. This is vegetarian. So I like to use this one. So this one, I got it from Dubai during my last visit. This is dried. It's not the powdered version. I have the dried agar-agar. So this will, we can keep this in our pantry for so many years. So I have cut like 2-inch slice of these agar-agar strands and around 1/2 cup. So next I'm going to add around 1/2 cup water and cook this till the agar-agar has dissolved well in water. So I'll be using that for thickening my panna cotta. If you have gelatin, you can use that. Right. So to this I'm adding 1/2 cup water. Next I'm going to place this over the over the heat and cook it till it will take like 10 minutes till the agar-agar dissolves in water. So let me go ahead and do that. So next I'm going to do all the cooking over there. So I'm going to move my phone close by so you guys can see me. Very gently I'm taking my tripod. Right. So here's where all the cooking is going to happen. And here's the cranberry and peach chutney. So it has cooked well here. So I've added all the ingredients, dried cranberry, chopped peach, 3 chopped peach, 1 cup dried cranberries, half cup apple cider vinegar, 3/4 cup sugar, half teaspoon chili powder, 2 dried bay leaves, and cinnamon. So I cooked this over medium heat for 40 minutes and it has, look at this one, this is mashed really well. So this is cooked now. So before serving you can discard the whole cinnamon. So this is perfect cranberry and peach chutney. This is one of my favorite side dishes for Thanksgiving dinner. So I'm going to close this and keep this aside. So this is done. I'm going to keep it here. So next, this is the agar-agar and water. So I placed it over medium heat. So let it cook for 10 minutes and let the agar-agar strand dissolve in water. Alright, so for making pumpkin panna cotta, I've placed a saucepan over medium heat. So let's start cooking. So I'm going to add the pureed pumpkin to the saucepan. So here is my pureed pumpkin. So 2 cups of this. So next I'm going to add 2.5 cups of cream, heavy cream. So here's my heavy cream. Here goes 1 cup and 1 more. Perfect, so 2 cups. So next to this, to sweeten the panna cotta, I'm going to add 1/2 cup sugar. So I have my sugar here. So I'm going to add 1/2 cup. 1/2 cup sugar. So using a spoon, just mix it up. So if you need more sugar, you can add. Right, so this is good. So 2 cups pureed pumpkin, 2 cups heavy cream, half cup sugar. If you need more sugar, you can add that. So I'm going to give a taste, and if I need more, so I think I'm going to add 1/4 cup more sugar. And over here, so agar strand is getting cooked over here. So mix it up. So next I'm going to add 1 teaspoon vanilla extract. There it goes. So at medium heat, let's cook this. So over here is the agar. So I've added half cup 2-inch slice agar strand and half cup water. So it's cook it over medium heat for 5 to 10 minutes till it gets dissolved completely, and then you're going to add this to the pumpkin panna cotta. But if you have gelatin, you can use that. So give it a taste. If you need more sugar, you can add. This is good. 3/4 cup sugar is perfect. So we don't want this to come to a boil, just slightly cook this over medium heat. So here I'm making pumpkin panna cotta. So for that I've added pureed pumpkin, heavy cream and sugar and vanilla extract, and cooking this for a few minutes. And then for thickening the panna cotta, I'll be using agar. So here is the melted agar strands. So let's add that. Add all the agar strands and give it a good mix. So this is good. Turn off the heat, and next let's pour this into ramekins and refrigerate this for an hour till it sets well. So our pumpkin panna cotta mixture is ready here. Next, let's make the butternut squash soup. So for that, I'm placing a saucepan over medium heat. So let it turn hot, saucepan. So here I have the roasted butternut squash. I'm going to peel off the skin. So I roasted the butternut squash for 35 minutes. So let's now peel off the skin. So after roasting the butternut squash, it will be much easier to peel off the skin. Otherwise it will be very tough. So over here to the pan, so I'm going to add 1 tablespoon butter. So let it melt. So for roasting butternut squash, I've added freshly ground pepper and salt and roasted at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 35 minutes. I just want the squash to turn soft. Then we are going to cook this along with the other ingredients for making the soup. So this is good, and 1 more to go. Alright, so this is perfect. So we are also going to add 1 onion. So I'm going to roughly chop the onion. So here the butter has melted. So let's add 1 dried bay leaf. Let it get aromatic in butter. So to this, let's add 1 onion chopped. So let's season with ½ teaspoon salt. So let the onion turn light golden in color, and then we're going to add the butternut squash. So while the onions are getting cooked, so let's pour the pumpkin panna cotta into ramekins. Hey Srijay. So I'm actually doing Thanksgiving cooking. So here I have made pumpkin panna cotta mixture. So I'm going to pour this into ramekin, and then let's keep this in the refrigerator and let it set for an hour. Okay. So for making pumpkin panna cotta, I've used 2 cups pureed pumpkin, 2 cups heavy cream, 3/4 cups sugar, vanilla extract. So cooked everything. And then for thickening this, I have added agar-agar strands cooked in water. If you have gelatin, you can use that. So this will make 4 cups of pumpkin panna cotta. So I've added to 4 ramekins. So now this has cooled down. So I'm going to place this in the refrigerator. So let's place this in the refrigerator. So these are going into the refrigerator. So this will take an hour to set, 1 hour to 1.5 hours. Alright, so in an hour our pumpkin panna cotta will be ready. So next, let's make the butternut squash soup. I'm going close to the soup here. So I've added butter to the saucepan and 1 dried bay leaf and 1 yellow onion. So let the onion turn light golden in color. And after that, let's add the roasted butternut squash. So I'm chopping the butternut squash here. Right, so I hope you guys can see me. So the onions are starting to turn light golden. So I've added butter to this so it smells really good. So here is the roasted butternut squash. I'm going to chop this. Then we are going to add this to the sauteed onions. So when we roast the butternut squash, it has a nice flavor. But if you don't want to roast it, you can also add the unroasted butternut squash and then cook this with the onions. It will take some more time. So here the onions have turned light golden. So now next I'm going to add the roasted butternut squash. So I've seasoned the butternut squash with ground pepper and salt and roasted for 35 minutes at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. So this is perfect. So give it a good mix. So I'm going to season with 1/2 teaspoon paprika, close to half teaspoon ground cumin. So this will give a nice smoky flavor to the soup. Give it a mix. So next, let's add chicken stock. If you are vegetarian, you can add vegetable stock. So here I have chicken bouillon powder. So this is not a cube, it's a powder. So I'm going to add that, 1 packet. But if you have chicken stock, you can add that. And around 3 cups water. So let this cook for a few minutes. So I'm going to close the saucepan with the lid and let it cook for like 10 minutes because our butternut squash is already cooked. Keep it at medium heat and let it cook, and then we are going to puree the soup using a hand blender. So our soup will be ready. So those of you who are watching, it's Thanksgiving in Canada, so I'm making a Thanksgiving dinner. Here is the butternut squash soup. I already made pumpkin panna cotta. I kept it in the refrigerator, so it is setting right now. And I've made roasted butternut squash. I can show it to you guys over here. So here is the roasted butternut squash, and I've also roasted asparagus and added some Parmesan cheese. So this is cooked well, so it has set aside here. And also I've made cranberry peach chutney. So this is a really delicious cranberry and peach chutney. The recipe is on my blog, so do check it out. This is one of my favorites. So we have to add dried cranberries and then fresh peach, apple cider vinegar. I have added 2 dried bay leaf, 1 in sliced whole cinnamon, and cooked it at medium heat for like 40 minutes till everything has mashed up. This is a bit sweet, but and also added some chili powder for some heat. So it has that beautiful, nice, spice, sweetness, and the sourness from the apple cider vinegar. All right, so let the soup cook. So next, let's make mashed potatoes. So I have cooked the potatoes in the Instant Pot. So let's mash the potatoes. So my kitchen is a whole mess right now. Lots of cooking going on. I'm going to clear up a bit. So this is getting cooked, butternut squash, onion for the soup. So let it cook for 5 more minutes. So next I'm going to open the Instant Pot and see our pressure cooked potatoes. So I'm going to open this. So here is the pressure cooked potatoes. I've added 4 potatoes. Halved it, seasoned with ground pepper and salt. Pressure cooked for 15 minutes at high pressure. This is perfect now. So next I'm going to mash the potatoes using a potato masher. So it has cooked so well. I'm going to take this out of the pan. Let me take this out. So you can see. So I'm going to mash this. So since it has cooked well, we can mash it pretty good. So use a potato masher, or if you don't have a potato masher, use a wooden spoon. And for pressure cooking potato, I've only added half cup water. So it has cooked perfectly. So for Thanksgiving dinner, we need to have mashed potatoes. So mash it up. And next, we have to add some butter, cream, and some cheese. So I'm taking all the other ingredients so we can add butter here and some. So first, let's mash it without any lumps. So this is a creamy mashed potatoes, and the recipe is on my blog. Also, the video of making mashed potatoes in the Instant Pot, it's on my YouTube channel. So please check it out. It takes a few minutes to mash the potato. It's a good arm workout. All right, so let me use a spoon to take this off. All right, so this has mashed well. So to this, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons butter. So this is softened butter. I think I might have added the foil, so let me take that out. Okay, there it goes. So now we need to keep this back into the main pot, and we need to cook this in saute setting. So keep on the main pot and select the saute setting. There it goes, at medium temperature and click start. So let me raise my tripod a bit so you can see what I'm doing. All right, I think this is good. Okay, perfect. So the potatoes have mashed well. So to this, let's add half cup cream. So I have the half and half cream. If you have heavy cream, you can add that. So all right, so I have half cup cream here. So let it cook and let it thicken. And to this, 1/4 cup Parmesan cheese. So this is around 1/4 cup. And I'll be also adding 1/4 cup cheddar cheese. You can add any kind of cheese you want. Mozzarella cheese, whatever cheese you have, you can add. So this is good. Mix it up. So our creamy mashed potato is coming along good. So give a taste, and if you need more salt, you can add. I might have to add more ground pepper and salt. So adding 1/4 teaspoon salt. I've already added salt when I pressure cooked the potatoes, so I'm not adding too much salt. And freshly ground pepper. Lots of freshly ground pepper. That will give nice heat and nice flavor. That's it, guys. Our creamy mashed potato is ready here. So let it cook for a couple more minutes. Just a bit like this. It's a bit watery. I might have added more cream. So let me cook it for a few more minutes so it will thicken. So next, over here, our butternut squash, it has cooked well. Smells really good here. So give a taste and add more salt or ground pepper if you need. Yeah, I have to add more salt. I'm going to add 1/2 teaspoon salt. And some more ground black pepper. Give a taste. It's perfect right now. So for making butternut squash soup, I have roasted the butternut squash, seasoned the butternut squash, half of the butternut squash with ground pepper, salt, and roasted for 35 minutes at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And then to the saucepan I've added butter, onions, sauteed it, 1 dried bay leaf, added the roasted butternut squash, chopped them and added that, and some paprika, cumin. Cumin will give a nice smoky flavor. And then ground pepper and salt and chicken stock. So that's it. So that is our very simple soup. If you want to make this vegetarian, you can add vegetable soup. Perfect. So next I'm going to puree this using a hand blender. So this has cooked well. So turn off the heat and let's keep this covered. And I'm going to puree this. And over here, our mashed potatoes, it's cooked well here. It's a bit liquid. I've added more cream. So this is our creamy mashed potatoes ready here. So I have a hand blender here. So I'm going to puree the soup using a hand blender. But if you don't have a hand blender, you can use a blend. You can add it to a blender jar and puree it. Yes. Okay. Alright guys, I hope you can see me. Moving my phone a bit. Alright, so I'm going to puree my soup here. So before pureeing the butternut squash soup, I'm going to take out the bay leaf. So I've added one dried bay leaf. So I'm going to take that out. So we don't want that to be pureed. And then gently immerse the hand blender and puree. Hope it doesn't splash. So immerse it completely into the soup so it wouldn't splash. Pureed completely. There are some chunks of butternut squash, so let me try. So there is still some smaller chunks of butternut squash. I think that's okay. If you want to be like fully pureed, I can transfer this to a blender jar and puree it. But I think this is good. So there will be some bites of roasted butternut squash. So that is good. So next, I'm going to finish this off with some cream. Yes, that's when the soup will taste good. So turn off the heat, and I'm going to add like 1/4 cup cream, that's all. So this is half and half cream. We don't have to add a lot of cream, just so it will make this soup very creamy. I'm going to give a taste. So if you need more salt or ground pepper, you can add at this point. This is perfect. So I'm going to heat this for a minute, and that's it. Our butternut squash soup is ready here. Perfect. And the turkey is still in the oven. It's getting roasted. It's going to be an hour. So I'll be roasting the turkey for 2.5 hours. So it's going to be an hour. So next, after 1.5 hours, our roasted turkey will be ready. Yes, so butternut squash soup is ready here. Mashed potatoes is ready, and roasted butternut squash, roasted Parmesan asparagus, pumpkin panna cotta is ready, and what else did I? And the cranberry peach chutney. Perfect. and it's 2:30 here. So I started cooking at like 12 o'clock. So I do have a part 1 where I did all the prep work, so do check that out. And then part 2, I cooked all these dishes. So once this is done, after the turkey has roasted, I will take 1.5 hours more. I'll do the next live session where I'll show you guys all the dishes and how I plate the dishes, and it will go on to my Thanksgiving dinner table. Alright, so this is good. The squash is come to a slight boil. Turn off the heat and keep it aside. I'm going to keep the cream in the fridge. Alright, so next, so anybody from Canada celebrating Thanksgiving? Let me know in the comments. Let me lower the... Okay. This is good. Perfect. Alright guys, so I have to wait for 1.5 more hours to have the roasted turkey. So I'm gonna... Okay, so the turkey is getting roasted. I marinated the turkey with a homemade marinade, and I allowed it to marinate for an hour, and then I'm roasting it for 2.5 hours at 375 degrees Fahrenheit. So here is the mashed potato. I'm going to, serve this into a bowl. So let's use this bowl for our mashed potatoes. Here. So here's our creamy mashed potatoes. I'm going to serve this into a bowl. It smells really good. I've added Parmesan cheese and cheddar cheese. Very aromatic. So you can literally add any kind of cheese you want. I love the aroma and flavor of Parmesan cheese. So I've added cheddar cheese and Parmesan cheese. Alright, so this is good. So I'm going to cover this with an aluminum foil and keep it aside so it will stay warm. So my other dishes are over there. So I'm waiting for the big bird to get roasted. So all right guys, so I'm going to end this live session. I'll come after like 2 hours after the turkey has roasted well, and then I'll show it to you guys all the dishes, how I plate it, and also I'll show it to you guys my Thanksgiving dining decor here, so you can see. So here's where we'll be having our dinner. It's kind of dark. Hope you guys can see. Yeah. So I did everything last night. So this is my Thanksgiving dining decor. Yeah, I love these ones. Be thankful, give thanks, and these are the candle holder. Um, and these are the maple leaves from my front yard. Perfect. All right. So going back. All right, guys. So I'll be coming live after 2 hours, and I'll present everything, all the dishes that I've cooked. By then, the roasted turkey will also be ready. So thanks everyone for watching. So join me after 2 hours. I'll be live on YouTube. Have a great day, guys. See you soon.